Welcome to WGU. I'm Vicki Carter, your student mentor, and I created this quick recording to help you get familiar with me just a little bit and some of the most important details that I'm going to go over in your next phone call. First and foremost, I'm your student mentor, and I love to tell my students that I'm your biggest fan while you're here at WGU. I'm also your first point of contact for any questions or concerns. I cannot stress enough to say, never worry about calling or emailing me. That's what I'm here for. If you call and I'm on the phone, please leave me a message. It'll go right into my email system. I'm here for you, and my commitment is to respond back to you as soon as I possibly can and to answer as many questions as I can. If I don't know the answer, I'm going to find somebody that does. One of the most important things and the difference at WGU is that you have me, the student mentor, and we have a pretty conclusive communication protocol. During your first term, we will set up a 1 day a week, 30-minute phone call every week. I will be calling you. I sure hope that you pick up your phone every time I call because these are valuable times where we can talk, we will set goals, and we will talk about your experience here at WGU. I often communicate very well through email as well. So I can't stress enough to you to please check your WGU email on a regular basis. You may want to start getting in the habit of checking it every day. And I also need to stress and ask that you read your emails from me. I know it seems like a silly thing to say, but I always know which students haven't read their emails very well because they always email me questions that I've answered in an email. My commitment to you is that I'm going to try to keep your emails from me as concise and to the point as possible. I realize you're a very busy person, and so you don't need to be ciphering through a long email. I'll make it as point as possible. Here's the good news. After your first term with me, we can actually set you to bi-weekly phone calls, and we'll still communicate through email. But I do like to stress to my new students that those bi-weekly phone calls, they are privileges. And I always can determine within the first 6 months, our first term together, if a bi-weekly phone call is going to be successful for you or not. Some of my students elect not to do bi-weekly phone calls. Believe it or not, they actually like to talk to me once in a while. In our next phone call, we're going to talk a little bit about what brought you to WGU. And I'm going to probably ask you a few of these questions. So this gives you some time to think about that. Why did you choose WGU? I know there's a lot of other options out in this world for you to take as far as getting your degree, and there's many online schools. So why did you choose WGU? I also want to know how you will use your degree in the future. That will help me to help motivate you, maybe on some of those days when you just don't feel like wanting to do anything. I'd love to know what you think your strengths are that you bring into this experience. Every one of us brings wonderful strengths into a new job or into school. And what are yours? And then also I want to know what your concerns are and what your fears about this experience may be. Every time one of us starts something new, we might have some anxiety. Maybe it's math. Maybe you don't know how this online thing's going to work out. Talk to me about it, and I can see what I can do to help you. Okay, so yes, you're going to have a few homework assignments. A couple of those homework assignments are from me. I want to make sure that we can set your AAV or enroll you in your courses for your first term as soon as possible. But there are some steps that I have to take to make sure that's done. The very first step that I have to ensure is that you have completed your EWB orientation. Now there's two ways for us to know this. One way is that you will get an email stating that congratulations, you have completed your EWB orientation. If you have already seen that email come to your WGU email account, I encourage you right now to pause this video and forward that email to me. Then we're all done. Another way that we're going to know this is that it will be at the bottom of your degree plan. But unfortunately for me, it doesn't show up as fast as I would like to have it show up. So my best solution is to have you forward me your email from the EWB team telling you that you've completed. That way I know we're all clear to go. Here at WGU, we want to make sure that you are very satisfied with how your transfer credits have been transferred into your program. If you're not satisfied with how that happened, or if you have questions or concerns about your transfer credits, it is your responsibility to communicate with the transcript department. I am more than happy to provide to you their number, their email address, or in our next phone call, I can connect you to them when we're done. So please don't hesitate to ask. And you can guarantee I'll be asking the question of how you feel about your transfer credits. The next responsibility that is yours is that you have to make sure that your financial aid documentation and your payment schedules are all set up. Before we can start AAV or set AAV, I want to make sure that you know how school is going to be paid for. I don't want school to be a hardship for you, and the best way to do that is to make sure that financial aid is all taken care of. If you've forgotten how to contact financial aid, send me an email. I'll give you that information, or I'll ask you again at our next phone call, and I can connect you to them. Finally, I'm going to ask you to send me a few things on top of sending me the email of your EWB completion. In your very first email with this link, you had the student inventory and the WGU vision statement. I encourage you to please open those up and read them, and also answer the questions on the student inventory. That student inventory is going to help me know how you prefer your communication style with me. Your WGU vision statement is your statement. It says this is why you came to WGU. I don't only encourage you to send that back to me, I'll encourage you to make a copy of it and put it up somewhere where you can see it. I'm also going to ask you to send to me your 20-hour study schedule, the one that you did during EWB. All these three things are tools that I put in my tool belt to make sure that I'm helping you to the best that I can. And sometimes I might have to pull out your study schedule and we can talk about it. Or I might have to remind you what your vision was here for Come to WGU. And finally, I'm going to remind you once again that if you have that email for the EWB, you can pause this video right now and send it to me. To help us get your first term AAV set in a very timely manner, I have done every effort to make sure that you get all the information you need. I know you're probably on information overload. Most students are when they first come in. And I know the EWB does a very successful job of making sure that you understand content and what's going to be happening. I produced 2 videos in addition to this one that will prepare you for our next phone call. I encourage you to please watch those videos before we actually have our next phone call. I also encourage you once again to read all of your WG emails for me. And this is how I'm going to know if you've done all those things. I have these famous things called Vikki's phone pop quizzes. And when we're on the phone, I'm going to ask you some questions. I've given you a few hints in this video about some of those questions. My other 2 videos are going to give you hints as well. And that way I'm going to know that you have actually read and watched the videos, and we will be able to set your AAV in a very timely manner. I want to make a little statement about the AAV setting it and first term start dates. First and foremost, please do not panic. Be aware that sometimes it may take us the first week of your first term to completely set your AAV. The good news is that you're not really being shorted on time. You can begin to work through and look through your courses, through your degree plan. They're not locked. So I encourage you to do that now. And you should be getting an email from me stating what courses I believe would be great courses for you to start in your first term. Take a look at those. Get in there. Start reading. It's all about you getting started. Even though the AAV is not set by the first of the term, at some cases on the first of the month, it will be set by the first week. So don't panic. My final words to you before our next call. I believe that WGU is a fabulous place to earn your degree. I've earned my degrees from other colleges. Several of them were through online schools, and I had wished I found WGU. I'm a big believer in WGU's vision, and I want to be here to help you through it. We here at WGU want you to be very satisfied with your experience. If you're not satisfied, please talk to me. I have a lot of ways to make sure that we can help you. There's a lot of places that I can connect you with, and there's a lot of people here at WGU that care about you. And finally, remember, this is all about you. you're going to progress through your courses as fast as you wish. So I say, go ahead, jump in, start to read, get planning, figure out what courses you might want to take, look for my emails and respond to them. And once again, please don't hesitate to email me or call me. I am your biggest fan right here at WGU, and I'm also your first point of contact. And I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that this experience for you is fabulous. I look forward to our next call. Cheers!